Should I be like a YouTuber?
Yeah, you could be a YouTuber.
My name's Frank Herbert. I'm a retired United States Marine and former high school teacher. My hobbies include anything that has to do with outdoors, mountain biking, kayaking, hunting, fishing. I'm not Greek, I'm not Russian, I'm just American. I was a Protestant, but now I'm an Orthodox Christian. What I found in the Orthodox Church was something I didn't even know I was looking for at the time. To be an Orthodox Christian, it is not a religion for me, it's a way of life. My first visit to an Orthodox church was intimidating. I had been in very ornate churches before, as a visitor, as a tourist, but going into an Orthodox church where people actually worshiped, people I knew, scared me a little bit. It took me out of my comfort zone. And in doing so, I do like a lot of people, and I ran away from something that made me feel uncomfortable. I went back to my other places of worship, filled with wonderful people, and it was dim. It wasn't the fullness of what I had experienced. And so I found that I had to pursue more. And that's where my journey really began, is being brutally honest with myself and lowering my pride and asking myself some hard questions. Those hard questions are questions, especially in today's society, are questions we don't want to ask ourselves. What does it mean to be truly human? Past what makes me feel good in the present time. What it means to suffer. What it means to participate within this community of other humans. And people use the term soul searching as a bumper sticker, and it goes much deeper than that. It's a real struggle to peel back past one's perceptions, one's view of each other and themselves. And it's a process. My first visit to Three Hierarchs was shortly after we moved out here. And I had come from a very large church where there was groups of people from different walks of life. And like most other larger communities, you tend to associate with one specific group and group of friends. And here I came in and it was very close, very small, very welcoming. It had its own life, its own personality, and it was really wonderful. My favorite part of orthodoxy, of the Orthodox faith, is there is no bottom. There is no reaching something. It is a continual renewal. We'll all continue to fall and get up. And that's okay. The biggest challenge for becoming Orthodox was overcoming the lens that I view faith, my faith, and what I thought rationally and intellectually, and putting things in nice, neat little boxes. When I first came to the Orthodox Church and found it interesting, I did it because of my military background. I come from a structured environment. I am here, we all have our place, we're all doing this. It's nice and neat and clean, at least on the surface to me at the time it was. And so I was able to apply a refined, more pure version of American Protestantism. And that was a hang-up for me for a little while. I had to stop and realize that I couldn't just view things through my lens that I looked through things. We all look through lenses. That was a hard thing for me to overcome, that my answers that I thought I had in my reality were not, in fact, the truth. What pulled me into visiting Orthodoxy after my first exposure, and I was a pretty harsh judge. I went up to the local priest and I said, "What's up with the dress?" I was looking for almost a conflict to prove that I was right. But there was something about being in this church that was different than all my other experiences. Now, Orthodox church is different, to be sure. But what drew me back was, during the worship, it wasn't about me. Everyone was facing east. As the sun rises from the east, we were moving towards heaven. We were joined in that communal prayer together. The focus wasn't on us. We weren't the most important thing in the world. I wasn't sitting in a chair waiting to be entertained and waiting for a good philosophical lesson. This was about true worship of the God of the cosmos on an extremely personal level. And that was wonderful and scary at the same time. Orthodoxy is different than I first thought it was, because as an American, as someone who grew up non-denominational, who is a Marine who comes in and looks to make things better, the first thing I wanted to do was join right away and be part of the team and help make this place a better place. None of those things happened, and none of those things were important. And I had my feelings hurt. And the priest said some pretty profound things. "Frank, this isn't about you. Your family will come in when you can come in as a family. And we've been around for 2,000 years. We're not going anywhere." There are quite a few misconceptions that people have, and it goes back to what lens they look through and how they perceive things. This is not something that is normal to me. Americans like to church shop. We all do. I've done this many times. Is this doctrinally correct? If I don't think so, I leave. That's helpful to an extent, but they come in, and if it is outside of their comfort zone, that can be an issue. Something else is that they see the labels, and it's an unfortunate construct within the English language, is they see the label Greek or Russian or Carpatho-Russian or Serbian, and they immediately think that this is some quaint, old, ethnic church. And so, unfortunately, because of those labels, that gets missed. As Bill, one of our older parishioners, says, this is an American Orthodox church. For someone who hasn't been to an Orthodox church, or maybe someone has, and they were turned off because of the strangeness. It lasted too long. Everyone stood. No one was friendly. All of the above. I would say you need to give it a chance. This isn't just another church that this feels right to me. This is the faith once delivered to the saints. And when you peel back the history, when you peel back and look at what the lives of the earliest Christians were, hundreds of years before they had what we know as a Bible, 1,500 years before it was even printed, all they had was the life of the faith. And these were the people who died for their faith. It is a faith that is experienced. The Christian normative life of the earliest Christians was experienced daily, weekly, monthly, seasonally, annually. And it was the connective tissue, that organic piece that truly allows you to open your heart to let Christ do that healing. It's not something you can experience in one service. For some people who are blessed to have that ability to open themselves and make themselves vulnerable, that's wonderful. I'm not one of those people. It's very challenging. But if you give it a chance, if you're truly wanting to seek God and have His experience, and through Christ, who's fully God and fully man, then you can take a little time out of your life throughout a season and experience it. And if at the end, and you've laid everything out with reason and with participation and with opening your heart, and you've come to the conclusion that this can't be it, at least you've left everything on the table. If you don't do that, you're selling yourself short. And so you have to give it a little time. You have to let down your guard. You have to allow that Holy Spirit to work within you. It's synergy. We work together here. I don't just sit back and say, okay, I'm just a human puppet. Make me do things. That's not what we are. We're called to be synergistic and to participate. So you have to put some skin in the game, and you won't regret it.